They say hindsight is 20/20ths. Looking back, I should have seen the warning signs the day Amanda volunteered to pick up Lily from school. But when you're working 60-hour weeks as a pediatric nurse while raising an 8-year-old alone because your husband is deployed overseas, any offer of help feels like a lifeline. "Emma, you're obviously struggling," Amanda had said, stirring her untouched coffee at our weekly family breakfast. "Let me help with Lily. I'm home all day anyway, and it would give me practice for when I have my own kids." I glanced at my mother-in-law, Margaret, who was nodding enthusiastically. They both wore identical expressions of concern that didn't quite reach their eyes. 8 years of marriage into the Harrison family had taught me to be wary of their helpful suggestions, but exhaustion clouded my judgment. I don't know, I hesitated, thinking of how Lily had mentioned feeling uncomfortable around her aunt lately. But that was probably just normal kid stuff, right? "Emma, darling," Margaret chimed in, reaching across the table to pat my hand. "You look absolutely worn out. When was the last time you had a full night's sleep? What would Michael say if he saw you like this?" The mention of my deployed husband made my throat tighten. Michael had been gone for 7 months, with 5 more to go. His weekly video calls were the highlight of our lives. But they weren't the same as having him here, helping with Lily and defending me against his family's subtle criticisms. "I suppose it would help," I finally conceded, "just until Michael comes home." Amanda's smile widened. "Perfect. I'll pick her up every day after school. We'll do homework, have snacks, maybe some arts and crafts. There'll be our special Aunt Niece time." That was 3 months ago. Now I sat in my car outside Amanda's house, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. Lily's words from this morning echoed in my head. "Mommy, I don't want to go to Aunt Amanda's anymore. Please don't make me." When I pressed her for details, she clammed up, eyes darting nervously to her tablet before changing the subject. It wasn't the first time she'd expressed reluctance about spending time with Amanda, but something about her demeanor today set off every maternal alarm bell I possessed. I checked my watch, 5:45 p.m. Amanda always insisted I couldn't pick Lily up before 6 o'clock, claiming they needed uninterrupted time for bonding. Today, I didn't care about her rules. Walking up to the front door, I heard muffled voices from inside. Instead of knocking, I used the key Michael had given me years ago, the one Amanda didn't know I had. As I quietly opened the door, my daughter's voice became clear. "But Aunt Amanda, Mommy says I'm not supposed to. Your mommy isn't here right now, is she?" Amanda's tone was sharp, nothing like the sugary sweetness she used around other adults. "Besides, she's too busy working to care what you do. Now let's try it again, and this time say it like you mean it." I stepped into the living room just as Lily, tears streaming down her face, repeated words that made my blood run cold. "Mommy doesn't love me anymore. I want to live with Aunt Amanda instead." What the hell is going on here? My voice cut through the room like a whip. Amanda spun around, her face morphing from shock to calculated concern so fast it was almost impressive. "Emma, you're early. We were just playing pretend, weren't we, Lily?" But Lily had already run to me, wrapping her arms around my waist and burying her face in my scrubs. I could feel her whole body trembling. "Playing pretend." I kept my voice steady, though rage pulsed through my veins. Funny, it sounded more like coaching to me. "You're overreacting," Amanda scoffed, but a flicker of something, fear, crossed her face. "We were just having fun. Right, Lily Bear?" Lily's grip on me tightened at the nickname. I reached down and smoothed her hair, noticing how she flinched when Amanda took a step toward us. "Lily, sweetheart," I said softly, "go get your backpack. We're leaving." As soon as Lily was out of the room, Amanda's facade cracked. "You can't just barge in here, and—" "I can, and I did." I cut her off. "Whatever game you're playing ends now. Lily won't be coming back." Amanda's eyes narrowed. "Michael asked me to look after his daughter. You're working so much, someone needs to give her proper attention. If you try to stop me from seeing her, I'll—" "You'll what?" I challenged, even as my heart raced. "Tell Michael his wife is an unfit mother. Try to convince him you should raise his daughter instead." "Maybe I will," she shot back. "We both know you're not coping well with him being gone. The long hours, the exhaustion. It's obvious you're struggling. Lily needs stability, someone who can put her first." "Someone like you?" I laughed, but there was no humor in it. The woman trying to manipulate an 8-year-old into saying she doesn't love her mother. Lily returned then, clutching her tablet along with her backpack. She wouldn't look at Amanda. "This isn't over," Amanda called as we headed for the door. "You can't keep her from her family." I turned back, making sure Lily was already outside before I responded. "Watch me." In the car, Lily was unusually quiet, hugging her tablet to her chest like a shield. "Mommy," she finally whispered as we pulled into our driveway. "Are you mad at me?" "No, baby," I assured her, turning to meet her eyes. "I'm mad at Aunt Amanda for making you say things that aren't true. Can you tell me how long this has been happening?" Lily's lower lip trembled. "Since Daddy's last video call. Aunt Amanda says if I practice saying the right things, she can convince Daddy to let me live with her when he comes home. She says you work too much and don't love me like she does." My heart shattered even as fury rose in my throat. "Lily, look at me. Nothing your aunt says is true. I love you more than anything in this world, and so does your daddy. No one is taking you away from me, okay?" She nodded, then held out her tablet with shaking hands. "I did what you always tell me to do when I'm scared. I got proof." "Proof?" I asked, taking the tablet. "I recorded everything," she whispered, "every day after school, because I knew nobody would believe me about what Aunt Amanda really does." My hands trembled as I went through the videos on Lily's tablet that night after she finally fallen asleep. There were dozens of recordings, each one worse than the last. Amanda's voice dripped with poison as she systematically tried to turn my daughter against me. "Your mommy chose work over you again today." Amanda's voice rang clearly through the tablet's speaker. "But I'm here, aren't I? I always make time for you." Another video showed Amanda coaching Lily to cry on command. "When the judge asks you if you want to live with me, you need to look sad, like this. Practice those tears, sweetie. We want everyone to believe you're unhappy with your mom." My stomach churned as I watched Amanda teach my 8-year-old daughter how to manipulate people's emotions, how to lie convincingly, how to break her mother's heart. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. Amanda had already spun her version of events to the entire family. "How dare you accuse Amanda of anything improper?" My mother-in-law's text screamed in all caps. "She's being your saving to DESD Castimontes. Michael YL Ichia about this." As if on cue, my phone rang with a video call from Michael. My heart sank. It wasn't his usual call time. Amanda had already reached him. "Emma?" His tired face filled the screen, concern etching deep lines around his eyes. "What's going on?" "Amanda called saying you burst into her house and accused her of trying to steal Lily." I took a deep breath. "Is anyone around you right now?" He shook his head and moved to what looked like a private corner of the base. "Before I explain, I need you to watch something." I held up Lily's tablet and played one of the shorter videos. Even through the video call, I saw Michael's face darken as he heard his sister's voice coaching our daughter. "There's more," I said quietly. "Hours more." "Send me everything," he replied, his voice tight with controlled anger. "Every single video." "Already did. Check your email." He was silent for a long moment as he processed the betrayal. "Where's Lily now?" "Still sleeping." "Michael, your sister. She's been planning this for months. The videos show her preparing Lily for some kind of custody hearing. She kept talking about judges and courts. She filed for emergency custody yesterday." Michael cut in, running a hand over his face. "That's why she called me. She said you were having a mental breakdown, that you were neglecting Lily, that she had proof." "Proof?" I laughed bitterly. "Oh, we have proof, all right, just not the kind she was hoping for." "Emma, listen to me," Michael said, his voice taking on the commanding tone he rarely used at home. "I'm putting in for emergency leave. But until I get there, you need to protect yourself and Lily. Amanda's not going to back down easily." He was right. Within hours of our call, a police officer arrived at our door with Amanda and a social worker in tow. "Mrs. Harrison." The officer looked uncomfortable. "We've received some concerning reports about your daughter's welfare." "Perfect timing," I said, opening the door wider. I was just about to head to the station myself to file a report for psychological abuse and attempted parental alienation. "Would you like to see the evidence?" Amanda's smug expression faltered as I held up Lily's tablet. The social worker, a sharp-eyed woman named Ms. Martinez, stepped forward. Perhaps we should all sit down and review any evidence from both sides, she suggested professionally, though I caught her giving Amanda a skeptical look. We gathered in my living room, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Amanda kept trying to speak, but Ms. Martinez politely but firmly asked her to wait. Let's start with your concerns, she said to Amanda. You filed for emergency custody, claiming Mrs. Harrison is neglecting her daughter due to working excessive hours, correct? Amanda nodded eagerly. I have proof of her neglect. Times she's been late for pickup, dates she's missed school events. She pulled out a carefully documented notebook. I see, Ms. Martinez made a few notes. And Mrs. Harrison, you mentioned having evidence as well. I connected Lily's tablet to our TV, pulled up the first video, and pressed play. The room fell silent except for Amanda's recorded voice. Remember, sweetie, when the judge asks, say that mommy never has time for you. Say you cry yourself to sleep missing me. Amanda lunged for the remote. She doctored these videos. This is a setup. The timestamps and metadata are intact, I said calmly, even as my heart raced. And there are dozens more videos, all showing you systematically trying to alienate my daughter from me. Would you like to see the one where you taught my 8-year-old how to cry on command for the judge? The police officer's expression hardened as he watched the screen. Ms. Martinez was rapidly taking notes. Mrs. Thompson, she addressed Amanda sharply, are you aware that parental alienation is considered a form of child abuse in this state? Amanda's face crumpled. I was just trying to help. Emma works all the time. Lily needs someone who can be there for her. I would be a better mother. By teaching my daughter to lie, I cut in. By manipulating her into saying she doesn't love me. Mrs. Thompson, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, Ms. Martinez stated firmly, and I strongly advise you to withdraw your custody petition immediately. These videos will not play well in court. Amanda stood, tears streaming down her face. You don't understand. I could be such a good mother if. But you're not her mother, I said softly. I am. And you need to leave now. As the police officer escorted Amanda out, I heard Lily's small voice from the top of the stairs. Is she gone, Mommy? I rushed to gather her in my arms, breathing in the sweet smell of her hair. Yes, baby, she's gone. And she's not going to bother us anymore. What about Grandma? Lily whispered against my neck. She helps Aunt Amanda too sometimes. I pulled back, looking into my daughter's eyes. What do you mean she helps? Lily reached for her tablet. I have videos of that too, Mommy. The videos of Margaret were different but equally disturbing. While Amanda had been openly manipulative, my mother-in-law's approach was more insidious. She would sit with Lily during their special grandmother time, showing her old family photos and telling stories that subtly excluded me. This is your daddy when he was your age. Margaret's voice came through the tablet speaker. And here's Aunt Amanda holding him. We've always been such a close family, just us Harrisons. It's a shame some people don't understand our special bond. Other recordings showed Margaret coaching Lily more directly. Remember, darling, blood is thicker than water. Your Aunt Amanda, she's your real family. She has Harrison blood, just like you. I was still reviewing the footage when Michael walked through our front door 3 days later, his military duffel still slung over his shoulder. I flew into his arms, breathing in his familiar scent. Daddy. Lily's scream of joy echoed through the house as she raced down the stairs and launched herself at him. He caught her easily, holding us both close. I've seen everything, he said later that night after Lily was asleep. All the videos. Emma, I'm so sorry. I should have seen this coming. How could you have known? I squeezed his hand. They waited until you were deployed. They planned this. He nodded grimly. Mom's called me 12 times since I landed. Amanda's been texting nonstop. They want to have a family meeting to clear the air. And? I held my breath. I told them yes. Before I could protest, he continued, but on our terms. Tomorrow at our house with our family lawyer present. The next morning, our living room became a battlefield. Amanda and Margaret sat stiffly on our couch while Michael and I faced them from the armchairs. Our lawyer, Mr. Peters, sat quietly in the corner, Lily's tablet on the table beside him. This is ridiculous, Margaret broke the silence first. We're family. We don't need lawyers to discuss family matters. Family doesn't try to steal children from their mothers. Michael's voice was cold. Family doesn't manipulate 8-year-olds into lying. We were trying to protect her. Amanda burst out. Emma's always working. Lily needs her mother. Michael cut her off. Her real mother, who works hard to provide for her while I'm deployed. Not someone playing dress up with my daughter's life. How dare you? Margaret stood up, trembling. After everything we've done for you both. Emma was nothing before she married into this family. We made her who she is. Show them, I said quietly to Mr. Peters. He nodded and pressed play on the tablet. The room filled with Margaret's voice, teaching my daughter to distance herself from me, to view me as an outsider. Amanda's face crumpled as her mother's involvement became clear. Apparently, she hadn't known about these videos. Mom? Amanda's voice was small. You told me Emma was neglecting Lily. You said we needed to save her. Margaret's face hardened. Well, someone had to do something. You want children so badly, Amanda, and here's this woman who doesn't appreciate what she has. Who works all the time instead of being a proper mother. A proper mother. I stood up, my voice shaking. I work to give my daughter a good life. I'm there for every school play, every doctor's appointment, every nightmare. I FaceTime her during my lunch breaks just to hear about her day. While you two were teaching her to lie, I was teaching her to be strong, to be honest, to be herself. Michael stepped forward. This ends now. Both of you will withdraw all legal claims immediately. You will not contact Emma or Lily without our permission. If you violate these terms, Mr. Peters will file for a restraining order and release these videos to the entire family. You wouldn't, Margaret gasped. We're your family. No, Michael said firmly. Emma and Lily are my family. You're just people who share my last name. After they left, I found Lily in her room, clutching her favorite stuffed elephant, the one Michael had given her before his deployment. Is it over, Mommy? She asked softly. I sat beside her, pulling her close. Yes, baby, it's over. You were so brave, you know that? So smart to record everything. I remembered what you always say about evidence, she smiled slightly, and I wanted to protect you too, Mommy. Like you protect me. Michael appeared in the doorway, his eyes soft as he watched us. How about we have our own family meeting? He suggested. With ice cream. Later that night, as we sat around the kitchen table with empty ice cream bowls, Lily asked the question that had clearly been bothering her. Will I ever see Grandma and Aunt Amanda again? Michael and I exchanged looks. That depends on them, sweetheart, he answered carefully. If they can learn to respect our family and treat Mommy with kindness, maybe someday. But for now, we're going to spend time with people who love all of us. Like Sarah and Tom. Lily brightened, mentioning my best friend and her husband. They're not blood family, but they're better than Aunt Amanda. That's right, I hugged her close. Family isn't about blood. It's about love, respect, and trust. Michael wrapped his arms around both of us, and in that moment, I knew we had all the family we needed right here.